and I couldn't help myself. I thought, well, why not jump on and do a bit of a what now? See what everyone's thinking about in respect to some of the key matchups, who you want to see people against next, all that sort of stuff. I'm here on the couch. I'm comfortable, so I thought I'll stick around, hang out with you guys a little longer, and yeah, we can talk about what we just saw a little bit more in depth, and most importantly, hit the what now. So I'll wait for a few of you guys to come in, but yeah, I hope you just have all seen the East vs West 13 card that just took place. I've got the results here. If you haven't seen them, I'll run through them with you. But some pretty impressive performances. Hey, Edwards arm wrestling, he's straight in with David and Sasha at an absolute war. They certainly did, and absolutely one of the performances, and I think that that was probably the high point of the night for me was David Samushia's performance. I think it was his 10th. I think it was his 10th East vs West world title, which is crazy. He's got to be seen as one of the most dominant arm wrestlers in this era of the sport now, and one of the potential all-time greats within his weight category. So good stuff. Hey, Gateway Arms, I'll hang out. Awesome stuff, man. Thank you for tuning in. School Ladyboy, yo, to you too. Good to see you here. Shalob Watermelon, good day, Ryan. Looking healthy, man. Thank you very much. We're getting there. We're getting there. I got a bit of pain going on in the shoulder at the moment, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm feeling strong. Definitely sore, but feeling strong. I haven't jumped on the scales this morning. I suspect after being awake all night, I might be at my lightest ever. Okay, so Gateway Arms saying it was David's 8th defense. That might be the case. I am someone who likes to embellish numbers and all sort of stuff. I get excited about people being super dominant for a super long time. So if it's his 8th defense, awesome. Still massive, isn't it? Massive. Travis getting sent home on economy class. Oh, yeah, John. I hate to say it, but that was the low point for me. It was actually one of the things that I was really hopeful of. I was genuinely hopeful. I'm a big Travis Bagent fan. I was genuinely hopeful that he was going to do something super special and that we were going to see the return. But Sergey Kalinjenko, just too good, too strong. He beat Travis in the lane that Travis is known for. Posting top roll too much rise, too much control, too much finger flexion, all of it. And Travis, tail between his legs, nothing really he could do. But we'll see what that means. That's a big question. The what now for Travis? We'll dive deep into that shortly. But I just want to say good day to everyone. Benji Mac, how you doing, man? I am doing well. Hope you are doing well as well. Hope you enjoyed East vs West 13. If you haven't seen it, guys, you guys know where you can get the replay. It's in the description. It's app.coresports.com/TV sign up. You can grab the replay there. How much have I cheated on my diet? That's a great question. Like this much. Like when I say this much, like the slightest bit, I'll have. When I went down to Sydney, I went to my auntie's place. She was such a wonderful host for a few days. I ended up conceding and having a bowl of dessert that she'd lovingly made. Outside of that, I've had like a biscuit here or there, like a tiny little, like what do you call those? The Dutch biscuits or whatever that you dip in coffee. I've essentially had no processed sugar. By my standards, I'm really, really proud. But I am somewhere in the 98 kilo range at the moment. I'm on the way down, and it's still got plenty of fat to go. So I think we're going to be under 95 kilos by the time we start getting in really good shape. But yeah, cool to see my buddy Martin out there in Australia. Yeah, Martin, I caught up with Martin yesterday. We had a few beers and a good chat. It was awesome. Martin's such a good dude, as you would know, Benji. He's a real good dude. I hope Travis keeps going as well. Edwards arm wrestling. That's one of the things that I truly hope most. So Travis is a fan favorite. I call him the super villain of arm wrestling. I think he's the perfect super villain. He's a dude that can entertain with his mouth better than almost anyone. I think he can talk underwater. He's got a voice that is just the perfect super villain. Yeah, Tall Paul twice in one day. Look out. It's craziness, isn't it? I appreciate all your support, Tall Paul. You're always the man. And, Ricard's just gone home, and I was just chilling out in my backyard. And I was like, what do? Do I go and try to force myself to sleep? Because it's now 9:30 a.m. here in Brisbane. And I was like, no, I'm still awake. And I just had too much. I was just I just enjoyed the event too much, and I was just thinking about all of the what now questions that we've got from this, and the what nows are pretty significant. So, one what now that let's start the theme. Let's start the theme of the what now. Okay, the biggest performance of the night is David Samushia. I think his performance is absolutely the best. The what now for him, it's a very difficult thing to find a genuine opponent for David Samushia. Now, there's one man that actually featured tonight. Can you guess who? Can you guys guess who? Someone that was on the card tonight who pulled on the left arm. Now, I didn't actually know enough about this dude, but he's enough of a dude that I think that he's maybe the what now, because genuinely we've run out of what nows for David Samushia. At 85 kilos, we've run out of what now. Sasho was it. Without Sasho, I don't know what people were going to do. But anyway, I'm talking about Tom Rositz. Am I crazy? Am I crazy to think Tom Rositz could pull David Samushia? I need to ask you guys in a poll. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Am I crazy thinking Tom Rositz? I can't spell. Should pull Samushia next. Start that poll. I want to see what you guys think in that one. First impressions. Let's see what come through. We got 43 people in here at the moment. Yeah, he does need to prove himself more. I know, but when I just think about who do you face, like, do you want Samushia to start just facing the same people he's faced again? Are we gonna see him pulling Nerdalet again? People are saying Moirov, who tonight looked very good as well. Are we gonna see him pull people he's already pulled? Or I don't know, is Tom Rositz good enough? Like Tom, I was super impressed with Tom Rositz. I mean, he beat Artem Taranenko, and let's no disrespect to Artem Taranenko, but Artem Taranenko is definitely not David Samushia. But still, Tom looks incredibly dominant, and I think that he's well. Remember, he took a round off Oleg Zhok just recently on the left arm at Europeans or whatever it was. I think that he's got the potential. He's got the potential. That top roll of his, nasty, nasty stuff. But Samushia's ability to just win from anywhere just seems to be crazy. So I don't know. That's the hardest what now for me to answer is what do we do with David Samushia because he's too good. 53% of you said I'm not crazy for thinking Tom Rositz should pull Samushia next. 56%, 44% say it's too crazy, it's too early for Tom. And that may be the case, but it's kind of like the Levan situation, isn't it? When we've got Levan at the top who's just so damn dominant, what do? You just have to feed him someone. You can't just give him no one. Samushia's now done everything there is to do at 85 kilos. He's strong, he's dominant, and we've run out of dudes that were genuine sort of ready top contenders. I'd like to see the wild card, Tom Rositz, thrown in there. And I think 53% of people think that that's not a crazy idea, at least. We'll end that poll there. But good stuff. I guess some other what nows. The other what now. Okay. The other biggest what now that we have to address straight away, the elephant in the room. The elephant is the room. Is Travis. I want to know. I'm going to ask you the poll. This is a tough question to ask. Okay. I'm going to start a poll. Okay. What now for Travis is the question. I'm going to give you a few answers. He fights on, is what I'm going to say, as one option. He retires again. Or he goes left arm only. What do you think? I want to know what you guys think will happen. What now for Travis? I think this is a sad question to be asking. We saw this happen with Alexei Vovoda. Alexei Vovoda years ago made a comeback against Tim Bresnan, and it didn't go to plan. Tim Bresnan won, and Alexei Vovoda disappeared again into the wilderness for a long time, and it wasn't a good thing. So this one's a tricky one. We've got a few people in the chat. Hey, Roy Levari. Hello, Ryan and chat. Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Okay. let's let's see what people think about this. John Boy reckons retirement. It's a tough one. I felt so sorry for Travis tonight because Travis is one of those guys who talks such a big game that but the thing is, he usually walks the walk. Everything he says usually happens. Today it didn't. So, um, Lagia says he should fight on. He was delusional. Now he knows the level and can prep much better. And you can't blame him for projecting his personality the way he always has done. I love Travis for that reason. But yeah, he now knows. He now knows where the level is, and he's got to start working. So, looking at the results of your poll, so far we got 42% of people say he fights on, 13% say he retires again, and 47% of people saying he goes left arm only. Of course, left arm being the arm that he was more dominant in historically. He has been quite high in the right arm as well. 2015, Travis won the WAL. He beat Dave Chafee very convincingly in the final that year. Travis's peak on right has been very, very high. But today's Travis, he looked outgunned. He just didn't have the strength. That was he did all of his control. He did all of his showmanship to get in the head of Kalichenko. He did everything that he could do to win the match. He just wasn't strong enough. And that is evidence that, okay, the comeback needs more time. The comeback needs more work, more consistency, which look, Travis has that genetic potential that it's in him. We know it's in him, but does he want to? That's the big question. Palin reckons Travis lost on styles. That's an interesting one. Look, Kalichenko is known for fantastic hand control, and he proved that. I think Travis desperately wanted the straps. I would have loved to have seen the referees award the strap in that round 3. I think it would have been cool just to see how that played out, but Kalichenko said, no, you got to get the straps fair and square, and he was unable to do it. Whoa, Georgie boy, George Ledon. Oh my goodness, George. Dude, George has just gifted 50 memberships of how to win at... George, man, what are you doing, George? George, dude, George, thank you. Hang on, George, what did you just do? George, you just spent way too much money. George, thank you, man. Oh my goodness. All right, well, welcome everybody to the How to Win at Arm Wrestling membership. Okay, I'd just been like kind of I hadn't created some quality coaching content in a while. George has just changed that. George has just absolutely swooped in and just bang on 50 memberships at How to Win at Arm Wrestling. George, oh George, I'm speechless. Hang on, I need to work out how much how much am I charging for those things? Like, I think it's a fair bit too. Um, dude, I'm speechless. Thank you. Thank you. So everybody who's just become a member of How to Win in Arm Wrestling, um, that's that's so cool. How much did that cost? Yeah, I'm with you, man. I can't remember off the top of my head what my levels are of pricing, but I think George just dropped a heap. So George, man, thank you so much. I can't, literally, George alone, I can't thank you enough. That just blew my mind. Um, yeah, man. Wow. George, you are the man. Thank you so much. Uh, yeah, that was people saying 250. That was a lot. I don't know. I need to. Yeah, that was a lot, George. You are the man. I think everyone who's watching live basically just became a member of the How to Win in Arm Wrestling, which means that I'm going to be jumping right back into providing some high quality coaching content. Because it's been a while since I've done that, but now with 50 members, my goodness me, and George being the lead member of that. Oh, dude, George, you're killing me. But thank you so much, killing me in such a good way. I'm. Whew. You just turned everything. You just turned a massive amount around for me. Thank you, George. I appreciate it. I'm gonna leave that up there for a while, just because George is the man. Thank you. As we get back, and we'll start talking a bit more about some of the what nows again. George is the absolute man. He is rocking it. Everyone, thank you so much. But George, it's hard to get my mind back to where I was after that, George. So the what nows we've talked about. Travis's what now? Well, let's end that poll. Actually, Travis's so 40. It ends on 47% of people think that he fights on, which is what I hope he does. 16% think he retire again, and 38% he goes left arm only. And maybe the case left arm only. He is a killer, but yeah. Oh, crazy. Crazy. Sorry, I'm still dealing with this George rocking it situation. Okay, so some other what nows that I want to talk about. Let's have a look at the results. So, what now? If you're Adam Taranenko, it's just back to the drawing board, back to doing what he does. Adam loves the sport. Adam's the dude that won't shy away from taking a match. I love arm wrestlers that just refuse to say no to a match. If Adam's offered a match, he'll accept the match, and he's a trooper. Adam, I actually like that Adam got a little bit of open arm top roll in that round one and found something. And then when Tom Rositz went into the hook with him, there was a couple of rotational indications that Adam can work on. There was a few little delays and stops. It was great position. Tom Rositz had all the control, but there was some open arm rotational stops that Adam looked promising with. So Adam, welcome to the club of Kings Moving. It's we fight on to live another day, and well done, Carolina Peterson and Olga Turpilova. That was a really cool match. I didn't know these ladies well going into the match. Carolina looked like a killer. Round one, she was staring down Olga. She was in a mode where it was brutal. But Olga, I loved what Olga did in round two, and for those two women, they really lifted the energy of the room. So what now for them is just crack on being badasses, ladies. That was really an entertaining match, and I absolutely loved it. One of the big, we'll go back to the big end of the what nows. The big end of what nows for me is the 105 kilo class. We've just seen the changing of the guard. David Dadakan is no longer the 105 kilo world champion. We've got a new world champ. His name is Oleg Petrenko from the Ukraine. He's a student of the former late and great Andrei Pushkar. Now, if you were privileged enough to be watching the sport when Andrei Pushkar was around, you'll remember him for his side pressure. He was a dude that breathed in through his nostrils, breathed fire, and lift his left shoulder up so high, and then just literally crash down on people with side pressure. And I see a lot of Andre in Oleg in the way that he has amazing wrist flexion and amazing commitment to his side pressure. It was very fascinating that Oleg started the match actually nervous. The very first ready go, Oleg tried to flop slip David Dadakan, and it was disastrous. He looked terrible, and it was like, oh my goodness, okay, David Dadakan is going to run away with it. So Ricard was ready to bet me $100. Dadakan was going to win, and at that moment in time, it looked the case. But then Oleg Petrenko found his confidence. He trusted his strength and just went with it. And that changed things. That really did change things. Oleg Petrenko continued his form from king of the table, and he demolished Dadakan, essentially. He was far too good. Every time Dadakan tried the hook, it was flash pin. Every time Dadakan tried the top roll, he only held him off for a little bit before the wrist went, and it was good night. Oleg Petrenko has emerged. He is the world champ now. With a firm statement, he's the world champ. Now, who do we face? Now, I'm going to ask you, who does Oleg Petrenko face in his first defense? Now, there's only really a couple options. So I'm going to ask you guys what you reckon. Who does? Let's get it typing the right. Who does Oleg Petrenko face in his first 105 kilo world title defense? Okay, option number one, Todd Hutchings. Good option after his performance today too. Option number two, Irakli Zirakashvili. How do I spell Zirakashvili, guys? Oh my goodness, off the top of my head, I'm terrible. That'll do, Irakli. I'm sorry. And is there any other ones. Let me just think. Todd Hutchins, Irakli at 105. Or, yeah, I'm going to throw in a wild card. Or Monster Michael Todd. Who do you think? Who do you think Petrenko should face in his first title defense? Those three names, all great names. Of course, the Michael Todd wildcard that I've put in there, guys. He was actually going to pull David Dadakan, so he'd been told your next match is going to be David Dadakan, and he was very excited about that. He beat Lars, and it was like, okay, now on to David Dadakan, who in Michael's mind was going to be the 105 kilo world champion, and Michael was in his mind preparing to be able to go and have a crack at him for that. So it would be disappointing if you're in Michael's situation right now. It would be it'd be disappointing where he was preparing in his mind to have a crack at Dadakan and a shot at the 105 kilo world title. Now I don't know if that happens anymore. I don't know if Dadakan wants the match anymore. I don't know if Engen wants the match anymore. I don't know if Michael wants the match anymore. It's kind of lost some of its shine. But look, Michael shouldn't be offended by still pulling David Dadakan. Of course, he's elite. And it's still, if Michael won that match, it puts him in at rank 3 or rank 4 or something like that in the world at 105. But what do we do? What do we do? Is it Todd Hutchins, Irakli, or Michael Todd? And so far, you guys, 50% of you are saying that it should be Todd Hutchins. Or it's adjusted now as I speak. It's now to 47% Todd Hutchins, 42% Irakli, and 11% Michael Todd. And, that's how I think it was going to go. Like, both Todd Hutchins and Irakli Zarakishvili put in outstanding performances today. You cannot, for 1 second, say that both those guys didn't dominate. What Todd Hutchins did to Krasimir Kostadinov was a different level of hook play. He made it look like there was not just one chapter, but 2 chapters at least between Krasimir and himself. His ability to just put in a hook and pin him, it was just too casual. Krasimir has been on a bit of a run lately. He's a bit resurgent, and it was phenomenal. So Todd Hutchins' level, really, really special. I don't think Todd Hutchins has ever pulled Oleg Petrenko, so that in itself is really cool. I think we know where Todd's going with it, straight there. And look, Oleg Petrenko is someone who's going to come crashing down. So it would be a very entertaining match. Now, if we go the Irakli Zarakishvili route, does he deserve a crack before Todd? Well, there's plenty of reason to say yes. After the way he demolished Evgeny Prudnik today, there's plenty of reason to say yes. The only reason that Todd Hutchins is ahead of him is because last time they faced, Todd Hutchins beat Irakli. It was a great match, but Todd did beat him. So I think that Todd, by rights of that previous win over Irakli, I think Todd has first crack at going back to be the world champion against Oleg Petrenko. And then if Irakli wants to steal it, he's going to have to do it. I would like to see maybe, again, I don't know. I don't want to get ahead of the game in what Engen's doing or anything. I don't know what Engen's doing. I don't know what these athletes want to do. But if I'm thinking in my head, I think David Dadakan needs a bit of a rest. Put him on the bench, let him chill, let him recover, recuperate, replan. And I'm just thinking out loud now. We got Oleg Petrenko v. Todd Hutchins for the world title, and let's go Michael Todd v. Irakli Zarakishvili. Oh my goodness, sorry, Michael. What did I just do to you? I think that can be the match for the number 1 contender to then face the winner of Todd Hutchins and Petrenko. How do you guys think that would work? Would that work out? Would that play out? Now I want to know. Actually, now we're going to take this one a little bit further because this is a really cool one now. So let's say it is Todd Hutchins and Petrenko. I want to know who wins it. Who wins that thing? Let me just create another poll. Who would win? Petrenko or Hutchins? Now, based on what you've seen today, ladies and gentlemen, both these guys clearly in good form. Remember. Now, I'm saying this because I know that most of my followers are going to be Todd Hutchins fans. And subsequently, I'm going to see numbers come pouring in for Hutchins as they are. But I want you to remember that David Dadakan did beat Hutchins. Okay? Hutchins was the world champ. and he lost it to Dadakan. Now, Petrenko's just done what he did today. But that said, Hutchings did demonstrate today a level that seems like, oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. How strong is Todd Hutchins? Is the stylistic matchup problematic for Petrenko? Petrenko loves to go sideways. He goes sideways with a bit more wrist than Todd does. Todd goes sideways with the base of his palm and he pronates through his thumb. But it's a brutal match. Does Petrenko top roll Hutchins? Can Hutchins Todd roll him? Which is, of course, like Hutchins always claims he's a hooker, which he is, but he hooks with back pressure and pronation all the time. So 63% of you guys at the moment think that it would be Oleg Petrenko that would take that match if it did go down. And look, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assumption based on Petrenko's current form. It seems like he is in a brutal condition right now, and it's hard to see anyone at 105 really taking him. But I do agree Todd Hutchins is the man. Now, I want to ask, I'm going to do the same poll. I'm going to ask Petrenko v. Irakli who wins. I want to see if you guys think any differently, and we'll go from there. Who wins? So let's remember that it was 35% of you said Todd Hutchins would win. Petrenko, Irakli. Who wins this one, guys? I'm curious to see if the styles make up a different matches. Look, Irakli's bicep strength looks so absurd. The ratio of his arm to the rest of his body is just insane. But as the votes come in, let's have a look at it. At the moment, 75%, 80% Petrenko. Okay, after 10 votes. All right. Okay. So everyone's on the Petrenko train, it would seem. It definitely seems that way. Okay. I'll wait for a little bit more votes to come in and see what happens with things. But I think that Irakli is brutal. Okay. So Oleg versus Irakli was supposed to happen at King of the Table 11, says Lagia. Interesting. Dadakan versus Monster Michael Todd is East vs West 14. Yep. Okay. Cool. No longer for the world title. It's going to be disappointing for Michael, as we were saying. Let's have a look. Based on current form, people, 77% think Petrenko would win against, or now 79% think Petrenko would win against the 21% of Irakli. So, okay, so people have more belief in Todd Hutchins than they do in Irakli, and that's fair. That's fair, I think, based on what's going on recently. Now, there is one more question that I want to ask in this What Now before we head on to another What Now subject, and it's the Michael Todd v. Irakli. I want to know if that happens, who takes it. Michael Todd, when I was in Dubai, he impressed me against Lars Rubakin. He looked good. The energy Michael had was solid. He looked like he was built out of granite at the table. There was something about Michael's physical presence there that showed me that he's legitimate. And I know that stylistically, Irakli is a nightmare for Michael Todd. But I want to know, are there any believers out there that think Michael would take Irakli in a super match? He is a super match dude, Michael. He's one of those guys that can bleed you for a long time. But Irakli's ability to climb and regrip and win the high ground could be very dangerous for Michael. So as the votes come in now, it looks pretty split so far in the first impression. Yeah, 50-50 at the moment, with Michael edging ahead a couple of times, but it's equal once again. So if that match were to happen at some stage in the future at the 105 kilo level, Irakli now edging ahead just slightly on the favoritism there. This is a potential What Now that I think we could see in the future. I don't know. Like I said, Michael, it'll be fascinating to see what his reaction is to all this, because he is booked to face Dadakan. That it will be a somewhat deflated mood for him, because it was going to be for the world title. Now all of a sudden it's no longer. So we'll wait and see with bated breath as to what Michael Todd does in that respect. But okay, we're going to end that poll quickly there. So end of the day, well done, Oleg Petrenko. The man, his What Now is easy. He just sits there at the top of the tree and defends. Actually, There's one more what now on Oleg Petrenko, and it's something that you might recall David Dadakan was talking about when he was the world champion, and it's Mr. Devin Larratt. Who takes it, Devin or Petrenko at 105? Okay, 105. Who takes that match at 105? Can Petrenko get through Devin? Can Devin stop Petrenko? That's an interesting question. Okay, let's see what the votes come in at. 83%, 100%. People changing votes. Okay. So far, after 10 votes, 90% of people are saying that Devin would take it. Okay, interesting. Now, I know Rickard and I were talking about this earlier. We were saying if Devin does come down to the 105 kilo category, um, who is the dude that's most likely to trouble him? And yeah, because of that long lever and that amazing pronotion that he's got. It's hard to see anyone who fights up top taking him. It's I feel like it's going to be an inside pull. Is Petrenko enough inside? Maybe. Is Dadakan enough inside? Well, I used to think maybe, but after today, I don't think so. Yeah, and for me, it's Todd Hutchins. I feel like if anyone has the style to beat a 105 kilo Devon, it's a 105 kilo Todd Hutchins. We've seen them face at WAL, and remember that Todd really did pin Devon, even though it wasn't called. I think crazy, but Petrenko's today performance did warrant something special. Now, Petrenko, yeah, he's going to have to defend. I think it's going to be against Todd Hutchins. But if Petrenko beats Hutchins, then Devin must be starting to get excited about coming down to 105 kilos again. And if he does do it, my goodness me, that would be quite the story for Petrenko to etch into his history books. But anyway, so 64% of people think Devin would take it, 36% sticking with Oleg Petrenko, who's your current champ. I think it's something that we might be blessed enough to see it in the future. And if that is the way it goes, then awesome stuff. All right, okay. So that's enough of the what now in respect to Oleg Petrenko. Let's have a look at who else stood out on the card and what nows exist amongst different names. So, Vitali and Morozov, the main event. What now for Vitali on the right hand? Has Vitali qualified to be the next guy to face Levan? I want to ask that question. Who's the next guy to face Levan, in your opinion? And who deserves it? Who do you want? Let's have a look. All right, next guy to face Levan is the question. I'm going to give you guys a few options. Vitali. With Hermes again. I'm going to put throw a wild card in there like Jerry. I know he really wants a match. Anyone else? I'm thinking. Am I missing anyone? Guys? Is there someone obvious that I'm overlooking, or can I say someone like Zaranov? Is he good enough? After the way he beat Rivas, maybe. Oh yeah, put Kadecha in there. Thank you, someone. I'm going to put Kadecha. Instead of Zaranov. Kadecha. All right, there's the poll. We can only put so many options in. So let me know, guys. Who do you think should face Levan next? Has Vitali done enough to earn that spot? People, a lot of people like Jerry. Talking about Jerry, people saying Jerry barely arm wrestles. Jerry's one of those dudes that look, he's beatable. Other people can beat him, and I'm not saying that Levan wouldn't beat Jerry. But I'm saying there's something about the Jerry match with Levan that is just an entertaining factor that I just love to see it. I just love to see it. I'd hate for Levan to retire someday and never have pulled Jerry. That's how I feel about it. Okay, Roy's made a comment about Zaranov. That's cool. Levan has said that Zaranov needs to win a few more matches before he will consider him. That's good to hear. The way that Zaranov beat Rivas was super impressive. I got to be in the room and watch it, and it was impressive. Jason Teals' Zaranov believer. He says he beats them all. But let's have a look. Let's go back to the poll and see what people have said. Yeah, 54% of people say Vitali. 15 want Hermes, 19 want Jerry, 12 want Kadeja. So it does seem pretty unanimous or overwhelming response there that Vitali is the man that everyone wants to see up against Levan. And look, Vitali, yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. His demolishing of Morozov today was outstanding. It was the most convincing victory of the night. I didn't think anyone was going to top the way Hutchins beat Kostadinov, but Vitali Laletin absolutely crushed Morozov. So you got to give him credit for that. Yeah, people are saying, "Oh, look, I see. There's a point. How are people voting Vitali? Hermes beat him." Um, this is the kind of style makes matches roundabouts that the sport can get into. It's tricky, but look, do we want to see Hermes again? I know Hermes was very close when he pulled him, but at the same time, it's nice to see different challenges. And it's been a long time since Vitali Laletin has pulled Levan. Go back to 2019, I think it was at the top eight finals was when they last pulls. So I think that there's been a lot of changes in both men since then, and the form that Vitali's bringing now, the leverage, the height, the back pressure, it looks good. Does look good. Levan's wrist could be challenged. It could be challenged there. So I don't know. But anyway, let's have a look at the final polls. 58% of you guys think Vitali, 16 Hermes, 16 Jerry, 11 Kadecha. So we'll wrap that one up. Vitali's performance was outstanding. Like I said, it was the most dominant victory, I think, in the East vs West 13 performance. And the match itself took like 5 minutes. He was that amazing. And yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. All right, so we've talked about what now is for Samushia. We've done Vitali. We've done Travis. Prudnik. What does Prudnik do now? Prudnik at 105 kilos is an interesting what now. Like Prudnik spent a lot of time. He got to the East vs West world title at 115 kilos. He then lost it to Devin Larratt, where Devin came down in weight and kind of like he beat Prudnik so dominantly that it left Prudnik with his tail between his legs. And now Prudnik now loses to Irakli at 105, puts Prudnik somewhere around rank 4, 5, 6 at 105. The man can sing, very good singer, very entertaining guy. I love the way he built up to this match. I love the way he interacted with the crowd. Richard Bornman pointed that out, and I think he's always going to be a crowd favorite. Is Evgeny Prudnik, but there's a little bit of he needs to go in and do some rebuild. He needs to go and do some rebuild. I'm not sure who you match him with. Someone who's mid-pack climbing, maybe. He's had great matches with Ongabayev in the past. Maybe those guys. I don't know. But Prudnik's one of those ones that's a little bit uncertain. Daniel Prokopchuk looked amazing against Božidar Simonov. He dominated. What now for Prokopchuk, I guess, is just to get back on establishing that he's the man. He was, of course, a world title holder within East vs West, but he lost it to Mindaugas Tarasaitis. So I'm sure he probably wants a bit of revenge against Mindaugas at some stage, who lost to Artem Makarov, of course. So Artem Makarov's the man there. Mindaugas and Prokopchuk, probably Prokopchuk wants another crack at him just to equalize that. But we'll see what comes for Daniel. Barbora, the Levan of the women's arm wrestling, is just so monstrously strong. There really seems like there's only one woman out there that can potentially beat Barbora, and it's of course Gabby Vasconcelos. Now Barbora beat Gabby Vasconcelos in a very close match from memory. I think that Gabby would. I don't know, but I'm sure Gabby's planning the revenge match. Barbora, did you see her stats? She's 122 kilos. She had a 50 centimeter bicep, which is bigger than mine. That's like Richard Bornman level bicep. It's hard to see, like poor Egla Vaitkut. There's nothing she could do at 85 kilos. The power difference was just so significant that Barbora was just ripping her across the table at will. So hard to see anything other than a match with Gabby Vasconcelos. That's the only thing, but I don't know when that is going to happen. Connor Ellis, what's next for me? Things are interesting for me at 95 kilos, especially if you take a shallow end approach and creep up to the deep end. But I know you like jumping in the deep end. Man, yeah, Connor Ellis. So I'm somewhere around 98 kilos right now. So I'm maintaining my strength. The main thing, the left arm's even looking good in this camera, and it's going all right. The main thing for me is to maintain my strength. As I'm cutting, I'm taking a very gradual process. I've still got a lot of fat to go, so I'm confident I will get under 95 kilos. And look, 12 months from now, I might be under 90 kilos. As long as I can maintain my strength, I'll keep going on that. Now, yes, I love the deep end, but I'm definitely keen to. I'm so excited about pulling people in my weight category. I really, really, really want to pull 95 kilo guys. And look, if in 12 months' time I'm 90 kilos, I want to pull the 85 kilo guys. I want to be, if I'm walking around 90 and finally lean in my life 12 months from now, then I'll do a water cut to 85 and start climbing that ladder. And yeah, with the aspiration of climbing a ladder, I like the idea of it. There's plenty of guys at 85 kilos that if I can maintain the strength I have right now, I think I'm competitive, for sure. But anyway, we'll see where that goes. My next actual match is going to be announced very soon. I can't tell you what it is yet. It's it's not a match at 95 kilos. It's with a heavier opponent. But anyway, it's a very, very strong opponent who's in very, very good form. And it's going to be a tough one, but I'm going to give it my best. I can't wait. So that's coming up soon. There'll be an announcement any day. So keep an eye out for that. But yes, I do have at minimum at least one more big international match this year. All right. The other what nows that I wanted to mention. Let's have a quick look through. Who have I missed? I want to talk about Zurab Tabaridze. What now for Zurab Tabaridze? I'm going to ask a poll question about Zurab because I felt sorry for Zurab. Yeah. What now for Zurab? Zurab, of course, if you're unaware, this was his return match from a broken arm. Slow rebuild. Needs okay. I'm going to ask it the question a different way. Needs 6 months. Needs 3 months. Needs 12 months. I'm going to ask you guys, how long does it take before we see Zurab back at the level that he was at? Now, the Zurab today, he looked to me fearful of his injury. Zurab of old, I think, would have been the favorite over Petro Manharan, but Petro Manharan today was just far too dominant. It was just a very casual pin for him. It wasn't the Zurab that we know. Zurab made me sad, says Lager, clearly not the same guy that flashed Sargov. Yeah. Zurab Sylvester Stallone says Zurab versus Travis. I think Travis, like if it's the old Zurab, Travis is in trouble. Current Zurab, Travis probably would be okay. But the reason it was like you could see that Zurab was so hesitant to commit forward. Previously, he would just drive fearlessly his shoulder forward, and today all we saw is him trying to scoop in with supination and wrist flexion, and against Manharan's back pressure pronation and side pressure, that ability to scoop was just not enough. So without the shoulder commitment, he really wasn't himself, and it seemed like something that was it was disappointing for Zurab. I hope he takes his time and gathers himself, builds that confidence back, and truly builds the confidence. Because the worst thing we could see is another broken arm from him. That would be devastating. So I'm glad that he pulled sensibly today, that he protected himself today, and that he didn't get injured again today. And although he will be disappointed, I'm sure from this loss and this experience and this testing of pressure, that he will grow from it, and we'll go from there. All right, Mario. And everyone just says 63% are saying 6 months, 5% of people say 3 months, 32% say 12 months. So there we go. The majority think at least 6 months for for him to get back to the Zurab of old. And yeah, I'm sure he will get back. I really do think he will get back. Okay, so Betkili Oniani, one of the best performances of the night, truly was a spectacularly dominant. There was one round in round two against Adam Tainov where Adam Tainov hit a low hand top roll. Betkili Oniani's wrist was back here. He was joint locked up in a defensive position, which is, I thought, the toughest position for him to come back from. And what does Betkili do? From there, he smiles at Tainov and just curls, pronates, and busts the wrist open of Tainov. It was one of the most phenomenal counter-attacking reversals that I've ever seen in arm wrestling. But Oniani looked like an absolute savage on that left arm today. I see people saying, look, Marius has said, man, Alazan could be a 4-division champ. Yeah, where did I see it? Somebody was saying Betkili versus Alazan. I think only Alazan can stop Betkili at 95 kilos. Mario says that. Look, what Betkili did today warrants the conversation of him and Alazan, which is crazy. Betkili has seemingly put on a bit of size. What can you guys? I can't remember. What was the weight of Betkili today? Can you guys let me know in the chat? Because it did seem like when I remember in the past, he's been a lot thinner and he's always been a very heavy joint based defensive arm wrestler where he'll just put everything on the line and he can wear out. I've seen him give real trouble to Oleg Zok, and I think he's even taken a round off Oleg Zok on left in the past. But his performance today was outstanding, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, Connor Matthews, we are back already. We're going through what now? I couldn't help myself. But Betkili Oniani was phenomenal. I think that left arm, he has put himself in the conversation of some of the very legitimately best left arm specialists in the world. Him and Alazan is a water cut away from 95, so he could get to 95. That would be a pretty cool match because Alazan has looked traditionally like the best left arm hooker in the world. Him and Matashenko. That's a match that I'm sure has to happen. But Alazan, and now you have to say, if Alazan's cutting to 95 and Betkili Oniani's at 95, my goodness me, we've got a match between two hookers that just seem like they have a savage ability to do anything they want at that level. Crazy. Crazy. But Oniani, very impressive. Very impressive. The what now for him, I hope we just see him on that left arm. Take some big names, big scalps, continue the run because the dude is an absolute monster. Okay. Other interesting point. There was one Dimitrina Petrova up against Taranenko was the only real match of the night where the scores went really back and forth, or outside of Samushia and Sasho. I apologize. And it saw a couple of little controversial moments where Taranenko got pins, but Dimitrina was saved by the elbow foul on a few occasions, and then she came back and took control. I feel like I felt really sorry for Taranenko in that one. I felt like Taranenko had done enough physically to win the match. She'd shown enough dominance. You could see it in her eyes that she was like, really? I just pinned the girl, and now I got to do it again. I've always disliked the rule of the foul being something that can save someone in a losing position. When you're just getting pinned, if your elbow just happens to come off as you're being pinned, I feel like that's not a restart for the losing puller in that circumstance. It should just be you just got drilled to the pad. You just got drilled to the pad. Deal with it. I think it was very, very unlucky. Lagia thinks that it was the case. He says, I rarely say stuff like this, but Ayan got robbed. Yeah, I've seen a few people saying, but look, the thing is, it wasn't a robbing like it was an unfair interpretation of the rules. That wasn't the case. The referees did a good job. This was a rule set thing. This was Dimitrina taking full advantage of all the rules that are available to her. And that's the question. Do you have knee jerk reactions and go and change rules because of moments like that because you feel the wrong person won, or do you say to Dimitrina, "Well done on establishing a great, well thought out tactical victory where you use the rules to full advantage"? So I don't blame Dimitrina, but I do feel very sorry for Takanaga. I think I felt like she was the stronger woman for the most part of that match, and yet ended up being on a 4-2 loss. I think Dimitrina is the 60 kilo WAF world champ, where Takanaka has been the 55 kilo world champ. So it was a good clash, but yeah, a little disappointing if you're from the Japanese side or a fan of the Japanese arm wrestling, but even still, very cool to see. And yeah, so guys, that's pretty much all of the major what nows that that I that I felt popped up from the event. I think it was a great event, and it truly was something that I enjoyed. I liked hanging out here with Rickard Borneman. And hey, before anything, I need to go back and see if I can find. I can't get to it anymore. I can't highlight the comment anymore. But I needed to thank George one more time. George, if you missed it, George came in, George Ladon, and gifted 50 memberships to the How to Win at Arm Wrestling membership level, which is crazy. It was probably the biggest super chat I think I've ever had. Came in the form of gifts to the membership. So that's been a really awesome spur on for me to go and create some really high quality training content for the 50 new members that are in there. So once again, big thank you to George for facing or for chucking up that massive super chat in the form of a membership donation. But guys, do you have any final questions for me before we wrap this one up? We've been on for about 52 minutes. It was a great event, East vs West 13. You can, of course, grab the replay from app.coresports.tv/sign up. If you haven't seen it, it's worth going and getting some great matches on there. Some changing of the guards with world champions, some demolishings from other world champions. It was really cool. All right, so let's have a look. Final call for questions. Connor Matthews wants some hook content. He's working on his hook at the moment. Blue, so any hook content is welcome, man. Yeah, we can get onto that for you, Connor Matthews. No worries. But George, if you're still in the chat, George, dude, thank you so much. Probably the biggest super chat I've ever had on this channel. So thank you so much. It blew my mind, and I hope that everybody who got the membership is grateful, and you guys are going to be able to get some value out of the content. There's already a heap of content in there that is just coaching, but I'm going to put some more up. I've got it now. I got it. Does the stash stay? Yeah. I feel like I've finally got to a point where I actually like my facial hair. I've experimented with a million different versions, and I don't know. I think it suits. Losing the body fat, the stash stays on. 95 kilos just around the corner. Maybe even 90 kilos in about 6 to 12 months with a water cut to 85. How competitive would I be at 85 kilos? If let's make the assumption I keep all the strength I have right now, how competitive would I be? That's a good question that I like to ask myself. And I don't know. I'd like to climb that ladder. I know David Samushia is at the top, and there's a bunch of killers under him, like now Sasho, for goodness sake. But my goodness, that's a ladder I would like to climb. Got to rack the aviators with the stash. Yeah, I don't have a pair of aviators, but I have in the past. But nowadays I have to wear these damn things so I can see. Marius, is it a full-on 95? Yeah. So what I am doing is I'm just body recomping. I've just finally got to the point where I've decided, no, I'm going to recomp my body fat. And I'm keeping a very close eye on my strength in the gym. As long as my strength stays good, then I'm going to keep the process going. I've got plenty of fat to go. I'm like about 98 point something kilos at the moment. I haven't weighed myself today, but I'll be somewhere in the 98s. And I think that there's still plenty to go. So I think my body weight will, over the next 3 to 6 months, I'll be walking around at 95. And 6 to 12 months, I think if I keep this process going and I maintain my strength, I think I'll be walking around around 90. I don't know that I can get much lower than that without losing strength. and I don't want to rush anything. Everything's going to be real slow and steady. So if I get down to that weight, then of course the temptation to do a water cut to get to 85 would be there. Um, yeah, the Coach Ray rematch would have to happen. It would have to happen. The Coach Ray rematch, that that would have to happen. Like it just has to. If I come back down healthily this time to a weight where Coach Ray is, yes, I would love that opportunity to redeem myself against Coach Ray. But anyway, 80% more power from the mustache, tall Paul. Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate all your support. You're relentless with it, man. So thank you very much. Fix the elbow and the shoulder. Yeah, that's a priority at the moment. Just a bit of temporary pain. We'll deal with it. It's getting there. Got a referral to get a scan done. I'll find out exactly what I'm up against. I don't think there's anything crazy, but if there is, I'll know what it is. We'll go from there. Would I be able to compete against Paul Lynn in the 95 kilo category? Well, Paul Lynn looked like, Paul Lynn at 105 was phenomenal. I would love to see Paul Lynn stay at 105 and actually challenge and try to climb that ladder because he looks so good at 105. It was crazy. But I know that he feels he can get down to 95 and be most competitive there. He's right at the very, very pointy end of the 95. If I went down to 95, I'd have to climb the ladder. I have pulled Paul before in the final of a tournament in Arizona in 2018. He beat me there, but it was nice to compete against him at the time. And I think I'm quite a way away from Paul Lynn at the moment, um, and he's where I want to be in respect to body composition, and he's already achieved that. Paul's actually guiding me a lot with my diet and my training at the moment, so um, I don't think me booking a match with Paul Lynn anytime soon is going to be in the future, but one day, who knows? One day, who knows? I missed your joke. Bowen too tired to deal with my shitty jokes. Did I miss your joke, or did it just go straight over my head? The bow stash. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, thank you very much for tuning in for this. What now? I enjoyed hanging out with you, and like I said, George, you're the man. If you're still watching, thank you for donating 50 memberships to everyone who picked up a membership. Awesome. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you guys in the exclusive content area and get some value for there. But all right, guys, take care. And yeah,